Every now and then a movie comes along that makes you think to yourself, you can tell that people who made this really like movies. You can feel the passion leap from the screen and into your eyeballs. Bury the Devil is one of those films, but it also is a movie that you can tell that it was made on a small budget. And it's not even a bad thing that a movie is made on a low budget. But there are films that are made with the small budget where you can definitely tell that they just had to push it out the door to make a quick profit. And the result is something that is unfinished and not really cared for, and you can tell that it's like busting at the seams, sometimes literally. And I'm looking at you, Predator Wastelands. But then there's films that are made on a smaller budget that don't really even look like it at all. Films like Shelby Oaks, made by fellow YouTuber and cinephile Chris Stuckman. Now, I really like Shelby Oaks. I know there was a lot of discourse online whether it was good or not. It was his first film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Can't wait to see more. And yeah, who am I to talk about film budgets and films and everything? I'm just a random dude sitting in his room talking about movies, filming a YouTube video. It's kind of sad. But I just think that when a lower budget film tries and puts effort into their film to make it look not low budget, it just gets some points for me. It just elevates the film and makes it even that more impressive that they were able to do that with such a low budget. Buried Dead unfortunately doesn't really pull this off, but there is some aspects in this film that I liked, so let's get into that. For one thing, this movie does what I love best, have a single location. Damn, I love those. This movie takes full advantage of its single location set, and it does a good job of making you feel kind of creeped out in this old lady's house. It's very creepy. I was also impressed with the stuff that they were able to portray on the outside of the house, because you're primarily inside the house in this entire film, but they do some shots and some effects outside of the house while you're seeing this character walk throughout the house that I thought was really cool. But for me, a big 2 thumbs up, because single location films, when they're executed well, some of the best out there. Also, shout out to Dawn Ford, the actress in this film that plays our resident crazy old lady possessed by a demon. Now, I don't know if it's just because she's an old lady and she's already creepy, but she was definitely the standout in this film. The movie is primarily centered around her, so she has a lot to do, a lot of lines, a lot of physical stuff that she's doing. I don't know if it was a body double. Probably not. Who knows? I'm taking away, not giving her enough credit for all the stunts she was doing in this film. But the big highlight of this film, and probably why you watched it in the first place, is that this movie is filmed primarily in one-shot sequences, and that's pretty cool to me. I always enjoy when movies do this. It's just really impressive, because I always think to myself, what if you mess up a line? You imagine doing you're going through a 30-minute one-shot sequence, and then you miss your line, or somebody drops something, and it just ruins the entire scene. It would probably be the most stressful job ever. But the one-shot sequences are really well done, and this movie isn't entirely filmed in one shot. That would be ultimately impressive, but there are some transition scenes in here, and when they do transitions, it's so well done that it kind of feels like it's still a continuous one shot. But there's scenes in here where you can obviously tell that it's an edit or it's a cut, but like I said, it's so seamlessly well done that you're just like, is this entire film one shot? But sadly, this movie does have some areas that prevent it from being one of those films in this genre that is above the rest. And just falls into some of those tropes and those pitfalls that a lot of these films, these low budget horror films, fall into. And one of them being that this, I don't want to sound mean. I don't want to be a mean guy, but the dialogue and some of the acting, it's pretty laughable at points, and not in a good way. There's one character in particular where every time I heard his voice, every time he had a line, all I could see and imagine was the professor from the Powerpuff Girls. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about.
See, the Blatterodia, or more commonly known as the cockroach, may be ugly and disgusting, but, well, they're also strong and focused creatures, and are very important to the balance of nature. But remember, girls, it's not right to harm an insect. Just because it's yucky on the outside, it's the insect inside that's important. Now who wants to touch it?
And I know for some people that the pacing of the film, particularly in the beginning of the film, is not going to be for everybody. It's kind of slow, even though that this film is pretty short. It's on the shorter side. It's like 75 to 80 minutes. And also the story is just pretty generic. It's pretty by the numbers for this genre. And even for me, for somebody that's pretty forgiving for those kind of things, because, you know, I'm fine with telling the same story over and over again as long as you add a little bit of different interesting things here and there. But even for me, I was kind of like, I don't really understand what's going on. And by the end of the film, you're just kind of confused and kind of like, did we even, what was the point? The biggest thing for me that really took me out of the film was just some character decisions, some big ones, big character decisions that were made in here. And, you know, I know this is a paranormal, demonic, spiritual film. It's not real. You know, it's make-believe. This is why we watch this stuff, to escape reality. But when you have a movie that is still kind of grounded in reality, when we do have those supernatural elements and everything, and we're in a house, you know, it's not a magical house. It's not the Amityville house, you know. I don't know what best way to describe it, but I felt like some of the characters had a phobia or a disease that prevented them from accessing windows. Don't understand why, you know, but maybe because if they did access windows, the movie would be over. Let me know in the comments down below if you noticed that as well in this film. Overall, there was one sentiment that I thought the entire time I was watching Bury the Devil. This could have been a better video game. And, you know, I was thinking in the vein of Until Dawn, The Quarry, any game pretty much made by Supermassive. You know, they're Dark Pictures anthology video games, like those games a lot. But I felt like this movie would fit very nicely into that kind of video game. I think I would have enjoyed playing the video game, The Bury the Devil, rather than what I experienced watching the movie. There is one good performance by a crazy old lady. She does a good job being a crazy old lady. But then there's other stuff that just overshadows all the good stuff with those weird performances, a bland story, and just some bad character decisions, which we just talked about. But of course, let me know what you guys think of Bury the Devil in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and to subscribe. And also, if you want to see my movie review for a movie that is similar to this one, but is definitely better, except for that ending, check out my review for The Surrender, the Shudder original film. It's a good one. But as always, guys, this is Straight to VOD, the #1 place you can get movie reviews for movies that no one else is talking about. I'll see you later.